So guys, I'm starting off with the face, and I'm going in with my Nuban Beauty Seaweed setting spray. And I'm going to spray this all over my face. I'm using it as a moisturizer and also as a primer at once. So next, I'm going to go into my Nuban Beauty highlighter in Aurora. Now I'm going to apply this all over my face. I'm going to examine my forehead right now because I have a lot of little bumps on my forehead. So with this, I was thinking of going for a dewy look because I really didn't know what I wanted to film as I was here. I just now wanted to do my makeup, but I didn't know what exactly I wanted to do. So applying this, what I had in mind was to do a dewy makeup look, although I'm not sure it actually turned out like that, but you know, I'm not mad at that. So once I'm done blending this out, I'm going to go into foundation. Using the L'Oreal True Matte Foundation in the shade Nut Brown or C7. Now I applied that at the back of my hand, and then I went ahead to apply that all over my face. Now guys, like I said earlier, I was going for a dewy look for this makeup look because when I sat down, I actually didn't know what I wanted to film. Just I know I was going to do my makeup. So that was why I chose this foundation, because this is like one of the most oily foundation I have. I usually lean towards a matte foundation because I have oily skin, but this foundation says it's oil free, but guys, it isn't. So that was why I went in with this one, because this is like the most dewy foundation that I had. So I went ahead to blend that out with a foundation brush, and then I went ahead with a beauty blender to take off any excess product I might have on my face. Now this foundation is very dewy. Sorry guys, this foundation is very liquidy, so a little goes a long way. So that was why I had to go back in with my foundation. Why do I keep mixing the two together? I had to go back in with my beauty blender to take away any excess product I still had on my face after blending. And this foundation, the shade I have is a little bit, let me say, a shade or two darker than my actual shade, which of course I do not mind, because once I go ahead to set everything down, I apply my concealer, my powders, you know, everything tones down to my actual shade, so I really don't mind it. Now once I'm done with that, I'm going to go into concealer, and I'm using the Nuban Beauty in My Skin concealer. Now you want to apply your concealer in the areas where the light will naturally hit your face, but with this concealer I decided to just go directly onto my under eyes and apply that, then go ahead to blend it out before I go into the other areas, just because the concealer is very thick and it dries down very, very easily. So I just went in under my eyes and I proceeded to blend all of that out. I went in with a little bit of concealer already on my beauty blender so that I do not remove from the product I already deposited, because usually I would like to allow the concealer under my eyes to dry down a bit and give me a more full coverage consistency, or a more thicker consistency. So that was why I decided to go in, you know, with more product so that I don't remove from whatever I have under my eyes, because it hasn't had the time to dry down a bit. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to go in with whatever that is left on my beauty blender for my forehead, and I just applied a very tiny bits of concealer to the bridge of my nose and just proceeded to blend that out. So basically with this, you just take your time, you know, blend it out. Once you've gotten a very seamless blending, then you go ahead to set everything down. So before I go ahead to set all of this down with powder, I'm going to go once more with the brush I used in blending on my foundation, just to make sure that there are no lines of demarcation between my concealer and my foundation, and everything are blended in together seamlessly. So guys, I'm going in with my Sacha Buttercup setting powder, and I'm going once more with my beauty blender to make sure that the concealer hasn't settled into any fine lines. And so I proceeded to set my face with a brush today, just because I still wanted the shine from the highlighter and also the foundation to still peek through. So basically I'm repeating the same process. You want to make sure that you blend out again before you go ahead to set, because sometimes guys, we have fine lines, we have wrinkles under our eyes. Sometimes the concealer will settle down there, so you just want to go ahead and do that before you set that area down. So I'm applying all the powders on my forehead, all the areas where I applied the concealer. I'm also going to do a little bit of reverse contour just to bring out the natural contour I have on my face already. So once I'm done with this, I'm going to go into contouring and bronzing my face, and for that I'm using the Milani Mineralized powder in the shade Warm. I love this powder because it gives me the most natural finish of all. So I always like to go in with it whenever I do my makeup. So I'm just going to apply this all over my cheekbone, my jawline, and then my forehead. Basically that's it. So guys, I absolutely love the finish of my under eyes. It looks so airbrushed. I don't know if it's me, guys. Can you see it? Am I kidding myself? But everything looks so beautiful. I feel like I have like the most airbrushed under eyes right now. I think I'm going to start leaning towards setting my under eyes with a brush instead of my beauty blender. So my eyes aren't left out also. I'm going to go ahead to blend that out. You can see the concealer and the little foundation I applied there has already gone ahead to settle into the lines I have. So I'm going to blend that out before I go in with my setting powder also to set all of that area down. So once we're done with that, we're going to move on to our eyes, guys. Like I said, this whole look was it was an impromptu decision. I just went with the flow as it came. So I'm going into my Perception palette from Colourpop, and I'm going to be doing a smoky eye look today. I don't think I've done one for my channel before. So I'm starting off with that shade called Thick, and I'm going in with a tapered blending brush to apply that all over my crease and my transition area. So this is the shade I'm going to use all over my crease area. So I'm just using windshield swiper motion to blend, and I went back into the palette and kept on picking up more products just so I can build the product all over my transition area and my crease area. So once I was satisfied with how the eyelids, the transition area was looking, I went into the main shade. So guys, with this, there are different ways of doing smoky eyes. There are people who will go in with a base, and before they go in with the darkest shade. But for this, I didn't do that. I just went straight in because the colors were already very pigmented. Eyelid shade, I went into Played Out. I started with that anyway, but it was too dark. So I went back into the palette and I picked Shade. That's the name of the shade, guys. I picked Shade. And this color had a little bit of sparkles. Should I call it sparkles or glitter or pigment? And it was trying to mess up the whole look. So I had to go back in with a little bit of my setting powder and I applied that underneath my eyes so that in case of any fallout from the shade, it was just going to land there and I'll be able to wipe that off, very easily. So after I was done with that, I went ahead to, pack on that shade all over my eyelids, and then I smoothed everything out. I blended it into the crease area and also into the transition area. After I was done blending out shade, I went back into the palette and I picked up Thick, and this time I mixed it up with Revenge. So I blended it in between the transition shade and the eyelid shade. So once I was done with that, I went back into the palette and I picked up Culture this time. So basically Culture, I just applied it all over my brow bone area and also onto my transition area, and basically that was it for this look. It was so simple. I basically just used about 2-3 shades and that was all. So like I was saying earlier, you can also decide to go in with a base before you go in with the eyelid shade, whatever works for you. So next I'm going to move on to doing my eyeliner. I decided to do a wing liner with this look, and I'm using the Mabrook Eyeliner. So basically I just like to go in with a straight line first before I go in to do the angle, if you understand what I mean. So basically that's how simple it gets for me when it comes to doing my wing, because I feel once I trace it out, it's very easy for me to connect the wing to it, and then I just go in and fill up that area. So after I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead to dust off the excess powder and also dust out the shades that fell out on top of the powder. So basically that's it. And then I'm going to go back into the Perception palette, and this time I'm going into the shade Unbothered. This is going to be my inner corner highlight. So I'm just using a very thin like pencil brush to apply that all over. I think I used the lip brush, I'm not really sure, but yeah, basically I just applied that all over the inner corners of my eyes, and that was that. So next I went in with my Paula Beauty waterproof eyeliner pencil because I really wanted this look to be smoky and I wanted my bottom eye also to be very smoky. So I went in with this because this pencil is very black, guys, I think this is even darker than my Maybelline Kajal, you know. So after that, I just went in once more with the shades I applied all over my crease and my transition area. So that was what I applied underneath my eye. So I took Revenge, I applied that, and I also went back into the palette, and this time I took Played Out. I didn't go back in with shade because shade had a little bit of sparkle pigments, and I didn't want that dropping down all over my face. So once I was done blending out, I'm going to go ahead to set my face, and for that I'm using the Nuban Beauty Seaweed setting spray. So I'm just going to spray that all over my face and allow that to dry down a bit, and then I'll move on to highlighter. So I'm going in with the Colourpop X Makeup Shaler highlighter in the shade Booming, and I'm just going to apply this all over my cheekbone, the high point of my cheek basically, the bridge of my nose, my cupid's bow, my jaw, and then right now guys I'm exempting my forehead with anything that will make it, you know, more pronounced. So I went back in again to set with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. So once this was done, basically guys, that's it for this look. So I'm just going to proceed to, you know, apply my lip shade, and for that I went in with my Davis pencil in the shade 18, number 18. So guys, I decided, see, like I said guys, from the onset of this makeup, I told you I didn't really plan what I wanted to do. I just went with everything as it was coming to my head. So at this point I decided to overline my lips or overdraw my lips, but I just did that for the top lip, and that was that. So after I was done, you know, outlining everything, I went ahead to fill in my lips with this same pencil. So after I was done with that, I went in with the Colourpop lipstick in the shade Common Sis. This was what I used as my lip shade. So I applied this all over my lips, and then I blended it out, and basically guys, that's it for this look. That is all I did. So guys, that's it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this look. If you did, don't forget to leave me a comment down in the comment section. Tell me what you loved most about this look. For me, I think it's the under eyes and my lips. Yeah. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave me a comment. Like I said, like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed already, and also hit the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I upload new videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.